The entire crypto market has been making massive whipsaws to the up and downside after we got that fake ETF approval news. Bitcoin right now, you can see on the weekly chart, has been overall trending to the upside using this exponential moving average, meaning that the overall trend is still pointing to the upside and shows that in the long term, we do expect higher prices. While Ethereum on the daily chart, we can see is clearly trending to the downside with this EMA sloping down, and every time we come above or at this exponential moving average, it's really a good time to sell as this short-term trend is still downwards direction. Smash a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and tap that notification bell to stay up to date with all of the latest videos. Check out this video description where I have my trading masterclass at 50% off, and you can sign up with a top global crypto exchange. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a large variety of different coins, but we're going to begin with Bitcoin, and I love the weekly chart as it just gives me the direction that I'm going to be using for these short-term time frames. But I know if the weekly time frame is in a particular direction, then the 5, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, that's the direction I want to be trading in. So overall, we look at the slope of the EMA. Clearly the slope is to the upside. Very, very happy about that. We did start to have a bit of a downwards to sideways tick here once we actually got a broke below, but you can see now we're actually beginning to trend to the upside. And this candle here was a bit of a crazy candle because we got that ETF approval news where we basically got a pump to the upside of around 13%, and then we drop back down, now only up around that 5% mark. So basically dropping over 6% from that top very, very quickly. Over $100 million of liquidations happen in a very, very short amount of time. Basically, an intern from Cointelegraph actually tweeted and said that the ETF had been approved when it was actually fake. He'd been fired. There's all these reprimands that have been happened. But overall, you can see what's actually happened when the ETF does get approved. We're going to get that massive pump to the upside. Overall, we still see that the trend is still trending up. But when we actually flick to the daily time frame, you can see overall we were trending to the downside for a very, very long time until this last few days. You can see we have beginning to actually trend to the upside. When we compare that to Ethereum, very, very different. Clearly on the weekly time frame, we're still bullish, but you can see we're starting to have this downwards direction on Ethereum, even showing that potentially Bitcoin is the better investment compared to Ethereum. But then we flick over to Bitcoin, you can see clearly very, very different to Ethereum, as much as these assets are very, very similar. Then on Ethereum, we look at the daily time frame, definitely not as bullish as Bitcoin, clearly in that downtrend, whereas Bitcoin is actually starting to make these big pushes to the upside. So overall, still a little bit bearish for Ethereum. I like to trade, if I'm going to be trading the 5-minute time frame, then I like to be trading in the direction of the daily exponential moving average. So the daily time frame right now is pointing to the downside. The 5-minute time frame, I would be trading to the downside. But if I like to trade something like the 4-hourly time frame, I look at the weekly chart and see, okay, the weekly chart even on Ethereum is still pointing to the downside. Okay, on the 4-hourly, I'm only going to be looking for shorts to the downside. Every time we come back up to this EMA, look for shorts to the downside. Binance Coin basically stuck in a trading range. You can see we are slightly trending to the downside, but basically in this trading range area where we're bouncing down, up, down, up, down, up, and we're basically moving sideways, now allowing the exponential moving average after having this massive movement to the downside, now allowing it to basically move sideways. Now we can choose this direction. I'm expecting that massive push to the upside. Then we can see that will allow the EMA to push up, and we can actually use it as support as we push higher. We then come back, use it as support, then push higher as the EMA continues to push higher as well. But when we are in this trading range action, I am looking to sell high and buy low, buy in the bottom 25% of this trading range, sell in the top 25% of the trading range. You can see every single time it's happened. That's really the strategy you want to be trading. You want to be trading a scalp type strategy, especially when we're in trading ranges. So there's definitely different strategies you need to be implementing depending on how the market is actually reacting at this current time. Now we look at Litecoin. You can see even on the weekly time frame compared to like Bitcoin dominance has actually been really, really growing, because we look at Bitcoin right now. Look, overall the trend has been to the upside, but then we look at Litecoin, which is one of the top sort of altcoins. It's definitely not a shitcoin. And look, we basically retrace the entire movement that we've grown from 2023. All this movement to the upside, we basically retraced nearly all the way back down. And it's just showing that it actually is a lot of dominance in actually Bitcoin, and not only is a lot of altcoins. You can even see showing with Ethereum even having a lot more downwards momentum, down around 50% from the overall growth. Bitcoin, you can see, is nearly up over 100%. Let's actually look from the bottom to this area, up over 80%. But we look at Litecoin, look, we're basically probably up around that 20% mark from this bottom area up to here. We're up 46%. So overall, half of what Bitcoin is up. So we're looking at this dominance, and it's just showing me the altcoins right now are not getting that dominance. A lot more dominance actually coming into Bitcoin. The reason I think that is because Bitcoin itself is going to get that ETF approval. So a lot of money is actually just directly going to be flowing into Bitcoin, and it will flow into a lot of these other altcoins, but directly it's going to be floating into Bitcoin because there's going to be a lot of these sophisticated investors that have never had exposure to Bitcoin, have never had exposure to cryptocurrency, going to have that access using this ETF as an on-ramp to actually purchase and use their funds. Even look at Solana. We look at Solana, massive movement to the downside, and even when we compare it overall to this movement in 2023 in this area, it's probably up a little bit higher than most other coins. Yes, around 160%, because Solana does have a lot more potential. Even here we do see we haven't had that massive uptick in the exponential moving average like we have seen over here in Bitcoin, but we can compare it and we can see it's actually been moving sideways, and we're trying to break above, break below, break above, and now we are beginning to finally have a bit of an uptick in this latest exponential moving average, slightly ticking to the upside. What we really be looking for is high prices come back, use it as support, high prices again, come back and just make these high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows. That's just a simple market. Then we can use that strategy of that pullback strategy, where it's completely different to a trading range strategy. I basically just look to buy every time we come back to this exponential moving average, every time we come back to this area, just keep looking to buy it, looking to buy at the average price and looking to trade in the direction of the trend. You know the direction of the trend because you know the slope of the exponential moving average, and you know the average price because you just put the 20 exponential moving average on your chart. Really easy trading. I'm really waiting for this market to actually become like that, because it really hasn't been. When we actually scroll out, it's actually been the complete opposite market. We can see had clearly downtrend in the exponential moving average. Every time we come back into this average price or value zone, they're perfect areas to look to sell and look for a continued trade in the direction of the trend. And you know the direction of the trend because this exponential moving average. So very, very simple. Now I'm going to flick through a lot of these coins very, very quickly. We can see APT, absolutely bearish, massive movements to the downside, and actually no hints of any bullish momentum. Atom, very, very much the same. Look at this. Basically, this entire 2023 move, we're right at this bottom. There is no bullish momentum, really showing that there's Bitcoin dominance is the big player right now. Even Link, let's look at Link. Very, very similar to Binance Coin, but instead this is on the weekly time frame. You can see all that people are doing is buying in this top, selling in this top 25%, buying in this bottom 25%. When you see this trading range price action, you look to the left, we do it once, twice, three times, once, twice, three times. That's all you can be doing. Then you just continue to do this till you get a clear break here or a clear break here. And you just continue to profit. You make one trade, two trade, three trade, four trade, five trade, six trade, seven trade. You make 7 trades, you make massive amounts of profit in here. Sure, you're eventually going to lose one. We get the big break to the upside, big break to the downside. That's why you have your stop loss in place. That's absolutely fine. You have that trading strategy in place, and maybe you lose 1 or 2 of your wins because you put your stop loss just far enough to make sure that you're actually going to get that trend reversal. And that's what you do. You lose 1 or 2 of these trades, but overall you make 7, 8, 9 trades in a row. And then eventually you do lose one, and you lose maybe 1 or 2 hour worth of profit. Absolutely fantastic trading strategy. That's really what people are doing over in the market. They're looking at and trying to find these exact type of trading strategies. They might put 5% of their portfolio into this trading strategy, and then they'll look for another trading strategy. Because we're on the weekly time frame, a lot of these moves, look, from this top to this bottom, that's going to take 21 days. And then from this bottom to this top, that's taken 42 days. That means I have plenty of time to actually look at these other coins. So allocate 2 to 5% of their portfolio into this trading strategy. They'll look at it every other day or at the end of the week, guaranteed at the end of the week. And they'll look, is it following their strategy? Is it following their thesis? Is it worth 2 to 5%? Maybe they cut allocation because maybe they only want to have 5% maximum of every single coin. And as one coin rises, maybe it actually increases to 7% of their portfolio. Then what they'll do is they'll actually go through every single week and cut everything back to 5%. Maybe one of their coins has dropped to 3%. They'll up it back to 4%. Maybe a coin has gained to 7%. They'll sell some of it off, actually bring it back to 4%, put that profit back into another coin that's dropped a little bit, and you can see that overall keep their profit the same. Then overall, maybe they're making profit, then they make a completely another portfolio, make it in stocks, forex. It's really, that's the real trading strategy you really need to be looking at. Just trading one particular coin and just trying to get in and out. These long-term trading strategies you really want to be looking at, getting a long-term portfolio and actually putting 2 to 5% on every single coin, and then just finding lots of different trading strategies or different styles actually fit. Maybe find one that's trending, when you find one that's in a trading range like we found now. That's exactly what you want to be doing. You need to be looking at the market every single day. Check out my trading masterclass in this video description at 50% off, and you can sign up with the top global crypto exchange. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe, leave a comment, tap that notification bell to stay up to date with all of my latest videos, and I'll see you in the next one.